Very good morning, friends, students. This is day 3, and I welcome you all in this session. So, today we are going to learn the concept of communication. What is the concept? How we can interpret the word communication? That is very important. So, it is very exciting topic, and we are here to learn it. What is the concept of communication? Communication, you have heard this word in your life each and everywhere. What is the people talk about the communication? So this is just a exchange of information between one or more people at a time. This is called the communication. And here the communication is the act of sharing information, as we know, ideas and feelings with the others, either through verbal, non-verbal, or by digital means for understanding and building commonness among individuals. Here we have used the word commonness. Commonness means what? Whenever we start communication between two person or more than two person, they just try to ask any questions. They may start that particular discussion or this communication with asking simple questions like what is your name? You have seen this type of situation during the journey period. Whenever you are traveling in any train or any bus or by any other transport system, then you will face the new ones or the newcomers who come near to you, and why with the strangers you can start this communication. We try to ask questions. What is your name? From where you are coming? Where are you going? So likewise, then what happens? Both the people, they try to communicate something, and finally they reach the point that yes, they are also coming from the same area and they are going at the same destination. So they becomes quite easy in each other, and they feel trustworthiness. They say, yes, okay, we are coming from this place and we are going to that particular destination. So definitely we will be accompany each other. So this type of this is called the commonness. So this commonness makes people more easier or more good, happy, or you can say easy in the journey. So this communication is called the commonness. So in this way, we can say this communication is very important to share our ideas, feelings, and thoughts. And this is also very important to understand how these ideas can be shared. These ideas or these informations, facts, feelings, they can be shared with the help of verbal and non-verbal ways or by digital means. And in today's time, we are dealing with the social medias, WhatsApp, Facebook, and Instagram, and mobile messaging and all. So this is the digital means of communication. And we talk about the verbal. Verbal means when we talk to anyone by your own mouth, means by in your own voice. When we talk with anybody, that is called the verbal communication, means mouth communication. That is verbal communication. And we talk about the non-verbal communication, where sound is nowhere. Means non-verbal means the sound is not there, only gestures are there, postures are there, signs are there, symbols are there. As we know, this is very good example. Whenever we go for any long tour or journey, we visualize the different type of the sign and symbol on the roads, means to get right, to have left, means likewise. So these divergence and all type of signals and symbols are there. So they are called the non-verbal communication. In the case of human being, when we make any sign to anybody for stopping, you can see at the crossroads also, where there is traffic police, they provide you different signs or symbols, and as per the sign symbols, we know either we have to stop, either we have to cross the signal. We know very well. So these are all examples of non-verbal communication, of communicating our ideas or our feelings. So likewise, we can understand this how this communication works. Now, we will try to understand how does communication works. Here we will need the 4 different attributes, that is like sender. Sender means person, the person who initiates the communication, who sends the message. That person is called the sender. And next is the message. Message means the information that is being conveyed, that is called the message. And who is the receiver? Receiver is the person for whom that message was created, and the person or the group who receives that particular message, they are called the receivers. And the one more thing, that is a medium. Medium means the way the message is conveyed, such as writing, speaking, or by body language, by which this message is going up to ultimate audience or receiver, that is called the medium. So in this way this communication word works. In this way we do communication in the society. Now we go for the concept. This communication is just sending and receiving of information, and can be one-on-one or between groups of people, and can be face-to-face or through communication devices. These all are the communications. Communication requires a sender, the person who initiates the message or the communication, to transfer their thoughts or encode a message. That particular person who encodes the message or make the frame of that particular message, they are called the communicators, or they are called the senders. In this way this communication process goes. In other words, we again can clarify that communication is a process by which information is exchanged between individuals through a common system of symbols, signs, or behavior. It is also an exchange of information. So this is the another meaning or the definition by which we can conceptualize the word communication. We go for the another definition, another concept that we can understand, that communication is a two-way process. That is very important. Means there will be they will required, means any communication process will require two persons. Means one a communicator, means sender, message sender, or one receiver. Means there will be need of two platforms. That's why it's a two-way communication. It is a two-way process which involves transferring of information or message from one person or to a group of another person. So in this way this communication works. So this is called, it is a two-way process. This process goes on and includes a minimum of one sender and receiver to pass on the message. Means any communication process will require at least two persons, one as a sender, second as a receiver. These messages can be either be by ideas, imagination, emotions, or thoughts. So they are called the message. When we share any idea, imagination, emotion, or thought, that will be part of your message. Now we are coming to understand the tips for effective communication. How this communication can be effective, how people will realize that you are a good communicator, or you are understanding the concept of communication. That means your message must be clear, your information must be concise, concrete, correct, coherent, complete, and courteous, because that is very important. If you are not polite enough, if you are not courteous, you are not empathetic, you are not trying to understand emotions of the person whom you are going to interact, he will not pay attention on your listening, he will not pay attention on your message. Means your communication will be failure. So for that it is very important, your message must be very short and sweet, that must be very concise, concrete, complete, and courteous. The next point to become a good communicator is very important, that is, listen actively. If you are interacting with any person and you are not paying attention or you are not hearing to that particular person patiently, actively, then that same person, reciprocal situation will be there, that the next person also will not pay attention on you. So that's very important, that if you want to send your message correctly, then you will need to listen another person also actively and understand the person's point of view. Without interfering, we would need to understand what is the view of the person whom we are going to interact and respond in the way that shows you have understood, and always try to make feel that you are understanding the next person whom you are going to interact. They are the very important points. They must be keep in our mind during the communication process, during the interaction process with anybody.
We are already talking about the concept of communication. We have gone through the different meanings, words, and how this the word communication was originated. That we have already learned. But it's very important to understand how this, what is the concept behind this word communication. The concept of the word communication refers to the process by which individuals convey meaning, ideas, thoughts and emotions through the use of words. By using different words, when we make any meaningful discussion or meaningful message, or we convey that message to the another person, that may call audience or individuals. So for that purpose this word communication was built, and it is a fundamental aspect of human interaction, enabling people to share the information and understand one another. So that is why it is very important. The concept of communication comes from that particular sense. Not human only, but each and every living organism on this earth communicate each others for sharing their emotions or for their safety cause or for their habitat and all. So if this is good, if we are in position to understand the process of communication, the concept of communication, then we will be adjustable in the society. The word communication can occur through spoken language, written text or digital messages, and relies on shared language systems, vocabulary, grammar and context to be effective. So these type of the different areas can be used for improving our communication skills, to improve our vocabulary. Effective word communication involves clarity, appropriateness of the language and awareness of the receiver's interpretive framework, ensuring that the intended message is accurately understood. So that will be a part of effective communication. If it is clear, appropriate, understandable, and it is okay for creating awareness among the society, audience, then it is, or accurately understood, then it is called effective. That is called the effective communication. The word communication has its roots in Latin word and has evolved over centuries to its current form and meaning. So, as we know, the word communication has its root in Latin language and has evolved over the centuries to its current form and meaning. If we talk about the etymology and historical development of word communication, we should learn that this is the Latin origin. The word communication is the Latin origin. The term derives from the Latin word communicatio, which means a sharing or imparting. It comes from the verb communicare, meaning to share, to make common, or to impart. That is the basic concept, that the meaning of this word communication. From here it has been originated. The Latin roots, there are two words that communis, the word communis. It comes from the word communis, means common. The suffix atio is just used for forming noun indicating an action or process. So, with these all the roots, so with these all the concepts, this finally word is being built, that is called the word communication. So, this is the story behind the concept of word communication. We talk about the component of communication, how this particular communication process is going, how this communication process is possible. So, this required few components, they are very important components. So, let us go through all the components which will be used time to time in the communication process, during the communication studies, the communication courses. You will go through these all the terminologies. So, what are these terminologies and what is the need and how these are important in communication process. So, let us understand the first word, that is the sender. You will, when we will go through the different model of communications, then you will face this word sender. Sender is also a encoder. Encoder means who encodes the message or who starts the message, who sends the message. The person, as you know, you can define it that the person or entity initiating the message or information, means the entity from where the message starts, that is called the sender or encoder. The second word is message. Message means what? The information, idea or feeling that is being communicated, that is called the message. The next word you will face, that is the encoding. Encoding, what encoding means? The process of converting the message into symbols, words or gestures understandable to receiver. Means how we want to send that message, that is in print form, that is in picture form, that in text form, that is in symbol form, that in likewise. So, this all the processing part will called as a encoding, encoding of the message, encoding. Yes. The next word that will be used, that is the channel. Channel means what? The medium through which this message will be transferred or will be transmitted. That may be a spoken word, that may be a written text, that may be any gesture, that may be any electronic media. So, these all the medias will called as the channel, by which this particular message will be conveyed. So, they are the called channel. So, here we could understand what are the channel, who are the sender, what is the message, who are the encoding, what is the encoding of the message, what is the channel. Yes. The next term we generally hear, that is the receiver. Receiver, the decoder. Receiver is also called decoder, means who decodes the message or who receives the message. Yes, yeah, who reads the message, means the person or group for whom the message is intended, for whom this message was generated, the message was structured, intended, who interpret or decode the message. Means ultimate receiver will be called the person whom we are sending the message, that is called the receiver or a decoder. Now the word is decoding, means the process of interpreting or making the sense of that received message, that is called the decoding process. Feedback means after receiving that message, if receiver sends any reaction, that is called the feedback. That may be indicator of whether that message was received, understood or not. Context means the environment or the situation in which that communication takes place, influencing the meaning or effectiveness. That was a good situation, bad context or likewise. So that is called the context or the environment or the situation. The word is that is the noise. It is very important word. Noise means any external or internal disturbances that can distort or hinder the message during the transmission process. That is called the noise. So it's very important to understand how these words are being used during the communication process, communication models. So that is very important to understand. And these 9 terminology, that the basic terminology, and we will go through these all terminology. If we will understand these all terminology in better way, then we will be able to understand the different models of communications. And in next classes, we will learn about the different models of communication and all. And during that time, these all the terminologies will be faced by you, will be seen by you, will be heard by you. So this is all.
So with this concept is, I hope that you would have been understand the concept of communication. So now we are coming to the discussion point and questions. Out of this discussion, we ask these questions that write the concept of communication. So you can write this concept, whatever you have gone through, and write the important tips for effective communication. So you can write the important tips for the effective communication. And as a practical means the practice is very important for becoming a good communicator. So practice these skills with your friends and nears and dears continually. Definitely you will be able to use all these skills in your talk, in your communication, for becoming a effective communication. So this is all for today. This is all. Thank you so much. Thank you for patience hearing. Thank you. Namaskar.